Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Thank you for the Kirtan. Okay, Hare Krishna. So you are all welcome to today's value class. The topic is determination. So everybody is from Bhakti Shastri, nobody is from Bhakti Shilam or Bhakti Vaibhav or anything. No, all Bhakti Shastri. Okay. So this will be like a mixture of many things. So we will have some, we'll go through some scientific explanations also, and we will go through some Shastri quotes from Bhagavad Gita also. We'll discuss from Bhagavad Gita, and at the same time, we will also discuss a few practical exercises also. And we'll make this class interactive, so it's not that I have to keep speaking every time. You can ask questions or share your experiences, so we'll make it more lively that way. Okay, so now before this topic, I wanted to ask one question. Generally, when we want to set a goal in life, and we need determination for that. So, should our goals be idealistic or should our goals be practical? See, now when it comes to devotional service, Prabhupada, he set the highest standards. He wanted all of us to become pure devotees, Goswamis. Like letter of instruction says, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, you have to control the 6 urges. And our acharyas, when we read about their lives, we think, how many births it will take for us to come to that point. So it sounds too idealistic. So some people will say, no, we have to, aim for that. But then sometimes we feel, Kali Yuga, this is so, challenging. We are struggling with basic things like our, chanting. So should we really think about all those big things, or can we just focus on the basics? Some people will say, Prabhu, let's be practical. This is Kali Yuga. We can't do all those things. So now, should we be idealistic, or should we be? Should our goals be idealistic, or should our goals be practical? Practical. Okay. You're saying both. Okay. Interesting.
Idealistic.
Huh?
Idealistic.
Idealistic. That is, idealistic. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would say idealistic, but our approach should be practical and reasonable.
Very nice, Mataji. You are coming very close, actually. Yeah. Okay. So now that Mataji said this, I'll give the answer. So His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj, he gives this a very practical answer for this. He says, our long-term goals should be idealistic, our short-term goals should be practical. So long-term goal, idealistic, okay, we want to become pure devotees, maybe we want to become like Haridas Thakur, that is long-term. But as of now, short-term, I have to improve my japa, let's say. So this is short-term goal. Short-term. Topic of determination. We may all have had this experience that whenever we want to do an activity that involves sense gratification, like let's say I want to just enjoy something, eat something, like just go to Govinda's, order pizza or order gulab jamun, whatever you want and enjoy nice. Or if someone gives some Mahaprasadam, that's it. You don't even have to go to Govinda. So very simple. It doesn't require any determination at all. No determination is required. But now if you want to do some task like memorizing shlokas, doing all the homework assignments, studying for the exam, you have to really force your mind. The mind is giving excuses for postponing these things. And then you have to keep, really force yourself to do it. It sounds so overwhelming, it sounds so challenging. Now ideally as aspiring devotees, we would prefer the opposite. If the mind was functioning the other way around, it would have been easy. But unfortunately, the mind is not functioning. So now, have you wondered why this is always the case? Now, this is actually Shastric study is not just about studying books. It is also about meditating and contemplating and asking these kinds of questions and discussing and looking for answers. So now, this is a very relevant question. Why is it that the mind is always functioning like this? That if you want to do something really constructive, the mind is always rebelling. But if you want to do some sense gratification, or for that matter, you don't even have to go to Govinda's. You just pick up the mobile and start scrolling. I mean, sometimes one hand will be chanting japa, the other hand will be watching WhatsApp. These days, in online, everything is online, so it's becoming like that. So, getting distracted and checking a WhatsApp message is, doesn't require any determination. But then, doing attentive japa requires so much of determination. Why? Any thoughts on this? I mean, why is it that the mind is always functioning like this?
The environment is better.
Sorry?
Environment also.
Yeah, environment matters. Yeah, of course, environment definitely matters. Yeah, if you are in a more spiritual environment, yes, it becomes more conducive, no doubt about that.
Modes of nature matters on us.
Yeah.
Whenever we try to control, our mind don't wants to enjoy. So when we are scrolling the reels, we are not even controlling. We are seeing like whatever it comes and whatever is going on, we are happy.
Okay.
It's like flowing in the river.
Yeah. Okay, please, Pandit. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer. It's okay.
Sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's hard to control your thoughts when you're doing an attentive chanting. Sometimes your mind goes off to something else and then you get distracted. That's why it's harder to chant than watch a video or something.
Yeah. Okay. Your mind gets distracted when you are doing chanting. So now watching the video, the mind doesn't get distracted. It's easier to do that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
The mind wants to enjoy this now.
Okay.
Does not want an enjoyment that wants what is there now.
Okay.
Because after you do the slokas and you are able to memorize, at that time it will feel happy. So it will enjoy it. But now when it's time to do the effort, that's not going to.
Yes. You are getting a little close. Yes. You are given a very good point. Yes, Mother.
It's like praise. I was just disappointed. Praise and shares.
Yes.
First, it will get enjoyment, and that shares it takes long to get.
Yes.
The mind is lazy. It wants something easy to do. But when we need to chant, we need to study, then we need to focus, we need to concentrate, and it's a tough task for the mind. So it's rather good down the slope and do something new.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. You almost got it. Yes. So now scientists, of course, see all the points that all of you told are valid. It's not that it's, somebody talked about environment, somebody talked about modes of material nature. So all of this play a role. But what is the root cause of all of this? The root cause is that the mind wants something easy to do. Now the scientists, they have done some research. What is it that motivates us to do something, anything at all? So what they feel is that, what they have found is that when you do something successfully, then the brain generates a chemical called dopamine, D-O-P-A-M-I-N-E. You can do a Google search on that, you'll get a lot of information. And this dopamine makes us feel motivated and enthusiastic to do it further. So now, if you just pick up a gulab jamun and put it into the mouth, immediately dopamine is released, and then you feel happiness. Ah, yes, yes. So, but then now, if you want to memorize some shloka, it is going to take time. Say half an hour, 1 hour, and after that, once you have done it successfully, then dopamine will get released. So then the mind will think, why should I work so hard for that dopamine? I'll just, go and have something, enjoy. Like, why should I break my head like this? So you have to force the mind to do all these things. That's why the mind is resisting so much. So you see, it's like if you are given a choice between two jobs, and one is a simple job, one is a difficult job, and both jobs are giving the same salary. We all would choose the simpler job, right? I mean, anybody, or even a businessman, wherever he is getting more profits with less effort, he is going to do that. So the mind is doing the same thing. Anyway, it is going to get the same dopamine. Why to work so hard for doing all these things for getting that little bit of dopamine? I'll just go and enjoy something and I'll just get the dopamine. So this is why the mind is doing like this. Okay, but then now we have to be practical. We can't just be enjoying our senses all throughout the day. We have so many things to do. So now the trick, what you do is that you break down a big task. Because the task is big, the mind is rebelling, right? So you break it into small tasks. So and then you give the mind only one small task at a time, so that you can easily finish it. And when you easily finish that small task, the brain will generate dopamine. You will feel motivated. So let us take the case of shloka memorization. Now, okay, the shloka memorization is going to take time. Look, there are say 20 shlokas to be memorized. So don't think of 20 shlokas. Just think of one shloka at a time. And even one shloka is going to take time. It will take at least, let's say, 1 hour or 2 hours to memorize the shloka, but then it takes only 1 minute to eat a gulab jamun. Again, the mind will say, why to do this shloka? I just enjoy. So now, one shloka, let's say, consists of 4 lines. So then you tell the mind, okay, 1 line at a time. Just pick up 1 line. And even there also the mind will rebel because there are so many difficult words in that line. Then you tell the mind, 1 word at a time. Just repeat 1 word 10 times. Let's say, Dehino asmin yata dehe komaram yamanjara. Bhagavad Gita shloka. So just pick up the first word, Dehino. Repeat it 10 times. That the mind will do easily. Oh, this is so easy. Then you repeat Dehino 10 times, the mind, gets motivated. Yes, 1 word is memorized. So some dopamine is generated. The mind is happy. Pick up the next word. Repeat it few times. Another word memorized. So like that you put these few words together, 1 line gets done. And then after some time, you just continue like this, then before you realize the shloka is done. So all the while, you just, instead of taking one shloka fully, you take 1 word at a time, half a line at a time, 1 line at a time, and then keep doing it. Then constantly the dopamine is getting generated, the mind is getting motivated. And then, so next time when you have to think of memorizing a shloka, then the mind will say, oh, I just have to memorize a few words, right? Okay, fine. The mind will start cooperating. So the idea is that you trick the mind into, by breaking a big task into smaller tasks. Now in between the mind will say, yeah, this is okay, but there are still so many shlokas, what to do? Again it will, frighten you. Then you say, that we'll see later. Okay, you say, let's say there are 10 shlokas to be memorized. You say, okay, 1 shloka for it. So the next shloka, that we'll see tomorrow. Well, the mind will say, still the mind will rebel. No, there are still so many shlokas. This is 1 shloka you are somehow managing. What about the remaining? Then you see, okay, next shloka we'll see tomorrow. So then, as of now, you focus on this shloka. Or let's say you have 100 questions in the question bank and you have 30 days to complete. Okay, 3 questions per day. So today you do 3 questions from the question bank per day. The mind will tell, what about those remaining 100 questions? Then you say, that we'll see tomorrow. But today you do 3 questions per day. So then the mind will say, okay, fine, no problem. So you will keep doing, and then the dopamine will keep getting generated. And then before you realize, the whole thing is done. I mean, the whole thing gets done. So, His Grace Vrajendra Prabhu says, he has written a book called Japa. He says the mind behaves like a child. So the child, when the child picks up a 500 rupee note and starts playing around with it, then the father will distract the child by saying, give me that note, that is just a piece of paper. You give me that paper, I'll give you a nice sweet. Then the child will get attracted to the sweet. So every day the father will do that. The child will not think that, why is it that whenever I pick up this piece of paper, my father is giving me a sweet? It will not suspect because it is too small. I mean, it's like a child. Only when it grows up, it will understand the connection. But otherwise, the child will just you can keep fooling the child every day like this. So you just keep tricking the mind every day like this. 1 shloka at a time, 1 word at a time. Just 2 or 3 questions from the question bank at a time. 1 question at a time. You just keep doing this. And same thing with chanting. If you say 16 rounds, attentive rounds, the mind will start rebelling. Then the mind will think, oh no, that you can't do. You anyway, meanwhile you just start checking your WhatsApp messages. At least some other work will get done. So, but then you say one mantra at a time, half a mantra at a time, one word at a time. That's what Vrajendra Prabhu, that is the technique he describes. And he says mind is like a child. So just say one Hare, just focus on the first Hare. Then the next Krishna. Just and then you pick up 2 words at a time. Okay, Hare Krishna. So then the mind will think, okay, 1 or 2 words I can manage. So like that you keep tricking the mind gradually. The whole thing gets done. Now, while checking WhatsApp message is easy. I mean, it's easy. So the mind is getting attracted. Again, dopamine is getting generated when you check the WhatsApp. So you give it an easy task, the mind is happy. You break a big task into smaller tasks. Now the next question somebody might ask is, do we have to keep tricking the mind for the rest of our life? I mean, of course, the Vrajendra Prabhu says the mind is like a child, but we have all grown up. We are grown up, but our mind is still like a child. Then see, the intelligence grows up. As we grow up, the intelligence becomes mature, but the mind continues to be like this. But still, we may think, do we have to trick the mind for the rest of our life like this? It's such a headache. So then here also, luckily, again, His Holiness Sachin Swami Maharaj says, he has written a small booklet on art of transformation. He says, you practice it for 3 weeks. After that, it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, the mind will automatically do it even if you don't want to do it. So 3 weeks, you just keep a fixed time. Like, okay, every day evening 6 o'clock, I will do these 3 questions of question time. Or maybe I will memorize this shloka. So initially it may be a little difficult, but you do it for 3 weeks, it becomes a habit. After that, at evening 6 o'clock, some friend comes and calls you, let us go to Govinda's and have a treat. Then the mind will say, no, first you finish this shloka, then go to Govinda's. The mind will start helping you actually. See, the Krishna says the mind can be our best friend and it can also be our worst enemy, both ways. So if you train it, it can be your best friend. The thing is, we are accustomed to thinking of mind as enemy because always it is distracting us. That is true. But once you train it, it can actually become the best friend. So now, after 3 weeks of practice, I mean, of doing this regularly, even if someone comes and distracts you, the mind will say, no, first you finish the shloka, you finish your question bank, then you go to Govinda's. Then you will tell your friend also, I'll come 1 hour later, I have some studies to do. So now the mind has become your friend, gradually. So, okay, now anybody wants to say something or share or ask something before we proceed further? Yeah, yes.
Can we say that it depends on our habits?
Yeah.
Whatever habits we make,
Mm.
mind will like every time repeat it.
Yes. Yeah, once you make a habit, the mind is automatically trained to do that. And you will do it even if you don't consciously think of it. Like let's say you are learning to drive a bike or a scooter or a car. What happens the first time you are learning, you are keeping one hand on the brake, you are looking consciously whether somebody is coming in between, whether some turning is coming in, and driving so carefully. But a few days you do it, or maybe 2 to 3 weeks you do it, you are accustomed to it. After that, when you are riding the bike, you may be thinking something else. Automatically, the hand will put the accelerator, and when someone comes in between, automatically another hand will go and catch the brake. It will happen automatically. Because now it has become a habit. The mind is already trained now. See, the mind is your friend now. You are thinking so many things on the way. The mind is automatically doing everything. See, it has become a wonderful friend already because you have trained it now. The first few days you have to really consciously train it. You have to put the effort. But once you get practiced, you see, actually, the scientists are saying the mind, it is made of conscious mind and subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is when you're consciously saying, okay, put on the brake, put the accelerator, that is conscious mind. But once it becomes a habit, the subconscious mind will take over. It will think, okay, now this I can do. This is what you want to do every day. I'll do it for you. So you are delegating the task to someone else. That is the subconscious mind. It will automatically do it every day. Even if you don't want to do it, the mind will say, no, your shloka is pending. What are you doing here? Like that it will say. Yes, Madam.
One more question. Generally happens to me whenever I do my chanting. At that time, so many thoughts came, like scrolling the phone and all. And all the important work came at that time. So whenever I try to just neglect that, like I get more anxious. Like what to do? My mind is like, no, you should do. And whenever I try to control myself, I become more disturbed. And I feel like too much urge to go and like do it right now. So what to do at that time? How to control that thing?
Okay, so if this is like, if something is really important has come, if it is really important, if it is something really urgent, then what to do is that give the mind some time. Okay, you think, okay, how much time it is going to take to check all these important WhatsApp messages. You keep the japa bag aside. Then you tell the mind, okay, I will allocate you 10 minutes to check all your important WhatsApp messages. You do it peacefully for 10 minutes, and after that we'll come back to the japa. It's okay. See, instead of chanting with one hand and checking the important WhatsApp messages on the other hand, it doesn't serve any purpose. So give the mind one task at a time. Either you chant japa or you check the WhatsApp message. So if those WhatsApp messages are so urgent, they are so important, of course, assuming that it is really important, you keep the japa bag aside, you allocate some separate time for the mind. Okay, 10 minutes I will give you for all these WhatsApp messages. You finish it off, then we'll come back to chant. And then once you come back to chanting, focus completely on chanting. So that way it becomes attentive japa instead of distracted japa. So just one task at a time. It's okay. I mean, we don't have to feel so guilty that, I must not. No matter however important if it may be some emergency, we don't know. Or what if it is some kind of an emergency, still I should. You don't have to suppress the mind saying that you shouldn't do it at all. You give it some time, okay, let it do, then you come back. The problem is not with checking the WhatsApp message. The problem is checking WhatsApp message while doing the japa. That is the problem. So you do one thing at a time. First check the WhatsApp message, finish it, then come to the japa. Come back to the japa. So yeah, that's me. Okay, so this is one technique we discussed, focusing on breaking a task into smaller tasks and focusing on one small task. Another way to motivate the mind is association. So we have all seen that any task we want to do, if you do it in association, it's always easy. But if you do it alone, it's difficult. Why? Again, the scientists have done research. They have found that when you are doing some activity in association, then more dopamine is released in the brain. Actually, they found this actually. So anything, even some materialistic activity, somebody wants to become a cricketer, he'll go and join a cricket club somewhere, and he'll associate with other people who want to practice cricket or football or whatever. So he gets motivated. So when you associate with other like-minded people who are doing something similar, then more dopamine gets generated. This the scientists have found. So now here also we always say association. So when you're associating with others who are doing the same thing, then it becomes easier. So let's say you form a study circle and the study group, and then think that okay, let us make this target of doing like 3 questions from the question bank per day, and then you are answerable to each other. Like at the end of the day, we all tell each other, okay, I have done my 3 questions. So that will motivate you to instead of struggling alone in the room. So association is a very powerful way of training the mind to do something. I mean, motivating the mind to do something. Then okay, another thing, focusing on progress. See, generally, when we want to do something, we say, I want to complete Bhakti Shastri, or I want to do attentive japa, I want to become a very good sadhaka. This is what we tell ourselves, I want to do this, I want to do that. Now, this actually stresses the mind, because the mind can more easily relate to present tense. I mean, I want to do something means that is future. I mean, that means right now it is not there. So you are focusing on something that is not there, that makes the mind more stressed actually. So you convert it to present tense. You say that, okay, instead of saying that, I want to complete my Bhakti Shastri, you tell your mind, let us make progress towards Bhakti Shastri. That becomes easier. The mind says, yeah, we can make. Because I want to complete means that is not going to happen today, that is going to take a few months. So then the mind will get put off, oh, it's going to take time, it will start losing motivation. But then you tell, let us focus on progress. Today let us make some progress towards Bhakti Shastri. Or today let me take some steps to improve my sadhana. Let me focus on improvising my sadhana. Instead of thinking that I want to become a good sadhaka, think that okay, let me improvise my sadhana. Then automatically over a period of time you become good sadhaka. The result automatically comes. So if you remember the chariot analogy of Bhagavad Gita, so in this we have mind, intelligence, and ego. We have that hierarchy. So now the ego is what ultimately controls everything. Now if we tell ourselves that I want to become a good sadhaka. See, the ego always understands only present tense. It will never understand past tense. I want to become a good sadhaka. That means what are you today? The ego is confused. It doesn't know. So if you tell the ego, I am an improvising sadhaka. And then you take some steps to improve your sadhana and tell the ego, I am an improvising sadhaka. Then accordingly the intelligence will start making plans. Okay, what can we do to improve our sadhana? So the intelligence will give so many ideas for improving sadhana. And then the next thing is the mind will automatically, and the intelligence will direct the mind accordingly. Okay, you do this, you associate with some devotees who are good sadhakas. Okay, you set up an alarm early in the morning for this much time. Then so many ideas the intelligence will start giving, and then the mind will start executing. So that gives some motivation to the intelligence, to the mind ability. Okay, whatever you want to accomplish in the future, you convert it to present tense. So whatever idealistic goals you have for the long term, okay, you tell yourself, today what can I do to progress towards that? What steps can I take to progress towards that? So you convert it to present tense, the mind always gets motivated. So we talked about present tense, we talked about breaking into smaller tasks. Now, and we looked at the scientific aspect, that is generation of dopamine. So now because progressive task is in the present, and progressive task is always easier compared to achieving task. Like instead of telling that I want to complete this, you tell the mind, okay, I want to progress closer towards this. That always sounds easier. So the mind always picks up an easy task, right? So one way of making a task easier is breaking it into smaller pieces that we discussed. Another way is convert the future tense to present tense. So I want to score very well in the exam. Instead of saying that, okay, let me improve my chances of doing better in the exam by studying today. Then the mind will think, okay, let us study a few questions from the question bank today. So the mind becomes more focused, it becomes more motivated. So now what is we'll look at it from a Shastric perspective. See, so far we were discussing about dopamine, scientists, we were discussing practical exercises. What about the Shastras? So now Krishna says, he talks about Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now what is Nishkam Karma Yoga? You do your activity without expecting the result. So he says, so you are entitled to do your duty, but you are not entitled to results. So what is actually, Krishna is making Arjuna do all these things actually. So Krishna is bringing Arjuna to present tense. Arjuna is worried about future. What about the result of the war? So many people will be killed. He is again thinking about future, but Krishna is bringing him to the present. You do what you are supposed to do now. You don't think about the result. So doing your duty and not worrying about the result effectively means you are coming to the present. So Krishna is actually bringing Arjuna to the present. So he is converting past tense to present tense. This is exactly what Krishna is doing. And he is also breaking a big task into smaller tasks. The big task is the result of the war, winning or losing the war. Arjuna is worried about the win or the loss, what is going to happen. So Krishna is breaking into smaller tasks. He said, you do your duty right now. Right now you are supposed to fight properly. So Krishna is bringing Arjuna to present tense, and Krishna is actually breaking the task into smaller tasks for Arjuna. So what we discussed now is what actually Krishna is making Arjuna do in Nishkama Karma Yoga. So this is what it is. And we discussed about habit forming. You make something into a habit, automatically it will happen. Then one good news for all of this is that, okay, one nice way of motivating, the easy way of motivating the mind and generating dopamine is music. These scientists have found that whenever you listen to your favorite music and do some task, the mind gets motivated and then you can do much better. So we have Kirtan luckily. So you can put your favorite Kirtan, whichever you think is motivating you the most to accomplish some task, and you let it run in the background and then you do whatever. So this is a very easy way. So luckily in Bhakti Yoga we have access to all these things. Otherwise if it is some kind of Ashtanga Yoga where you don't have association, you have to go to the forest and do some difficult meditation. There is no association, there is no music, there is no kirtan, and maybe no tasty prasadam, maybe just some fruit from the tree, that's all. So then it is so difficult for those yogis to generate dopamine for their brain. But luckily, Krishna knows, I mean in Kali Yuga it is so degraded, we all want continuous dopamine. So Krishna has given a process by which dopamine keeps getting generated easily. Kirtan, dopamine is generated. Prasadam, quick dopamine. So, and association. So all these easy procedures Krishna has given, which will keep generating dopamine in the brain continuously. And then the mind is continuously motivated to do all these devotional activities. So this is why Krishna has given such a nice process in Kali Yuga. Okay, so now anything anybody wants to discuss or ask further before we proceed further?
I just wanted to too clear about the dopamine thing. I just heard that once the dopamine is released, you become satisfied and you don't want to do further task. You know, just like that. But suppose I have to do something, but instead I maybe use mobile, I slept, I ate ice cream, I went out, my dopamine is already high. Now I came back, I am no longer even motivated to do the task which I should be doing. So, like, it's just about dopamine. Mind means dopamine by any way. It could be by the mobile, it could be by sports, it could be by anything. So, like, again, this thing came into a trap. Like,
okay, you took up some task, you left it halfway. So now the dopamine is gone. How to motivate yourself again? That's what you're asking.
no, like, there's a way to release dopamine. You were mentioning about that the dopamine is motivating you, but that, as I see it, when once dopamine is released, you become more relaxed. You don't want to do further things, especially because you're already in a peaceful mood.
Oh, okay. Actually, you have a good question. Actually, there are two types of dopamines. There is one dopamine that makes you feel peaceful, and there is another dopamine which motivates you to do further tasks. Okay, you got this dopamine, now do another task so that you will get more dopamine. There are two types of dopamines actually. So, again, if you are feeling peaceful, but it is okay to feel peaceful for some time. But then sometimes if you are too peaceful, then that peacefulness will eventually become like laziness, that okay, now I'm happy, I don't want to do anything further. So it will become like that. So before it goes like that, if you want to achieve something urgently, then again, whatever remaining task is there, again you tell the mind, okay, you break it into smaller parts and then pick up one small piece and then tell the mind, okay, do this again. So let's say you have memorized one shloka successfully, enough dopamine is generated, you are feeling satisfied, but then at the same time you have exams coming up, you have to memorize many more shlokas. Now, because of the dopamine, there are two types of dopamine. So one type of dopamine is making you feel satisfied. The another type of dopamine will push you to do something further. So you tell the mind, okay, next shloka, just one word, then you can relax, don't worry. No, you should not tell the mind that no, you should not relax. You have to study the next shloka. Then the mind will say, no, I don't want to do. You need not force the mind at all. You just trick the mind. You don't have to force it, you just trick the mind. Okay, just one or two words of the next shloka. Then the mind will say, okay, fine, one or two words done. Then the mind will say, one or two words done. Let us do. The mind itself will say, okay, let us do 2-3 more words. Why not? So then why not? Okay, another 2-3 words. Like that, if you ऐसे करते, like all the the entire shloka, another shloka will get done. So whenever the mind keeps rebelling that there are you are just content with one shloka, there are many more shlokas pending. There are so many questions in the question bank, 100 questions. How do you think you are going to do? You are fooling yourself. The mind will scare you Then tell the mind, that today you do 3 questions per day from the question bank. The remaining questions we'll see tomorrow. Why are you so worried? Anyway, we have still so many days left. And then the mind will say, okay, that means for the next 1 month I have to keep doing this every day. Then you again tell the mind, that we'll see later. Today you do these 3 questions, tomorrow we'll see. Oh, we want to go enjoy and go to Govinda's, we'll do that tomorrow. Today you finish this shloka. Then when tomorrow comes, again you tell them, today we'll finish some more shlokas. We'll see that treat, Govinda's treat tomorrow. We keep telling tomorrow. Surprisingly, the mind gets tricked. And then, after 3 weeks, the mind will lose interest in going to Govinda's. Let's finish off these shlokas. The mind will in fact make you do it. It's surprising actually. You just put it, you don't tell the mind that, no more Govinda's, only shloka. Then mind will say, no, let's go to Govinda. The mind will pull you there. So, instead you tell the mind, today we do shlokas, tomorrow we'll see Govinda. Then tomorrow comes, again, today we'll do it. See, that is what Haridas Thakur was doing. When the Institute came, he didn't tell the Institute, okay, I'm going to chant for the next 24 hours, you sit and hear, then she would have, this thing. He told, okay, I have some more rounds, let me just finish this, then we'll see. Then again, she was hearing and she was getting purified. Then again, Haridas Thakur said, okay, now I have some more rounds, I'll finish this, then we'll see. Then like this, I say, repeatedly doing this, the prostitute is getting purified. So, and similarly, and Haridas Thakur's rounds are getting done. So both things are happening. So Haridas Thakur may have played the same trick. And this is what we do when new Bhakta comes to the temple. We don't tell him that you have to chant 16 rounds for the rest of your life. He'll run away. That means 2 hours every day. You tell him, hey, just chant 1 round. He'll say, okay. His mind will say, okay, why not? Just 1 round, that is 10 minutes. The rest of the day you can do whatever you like. That's how you tell the mind. Hey, pura din pada hai, the rest of the day is there to do whatever you want. Just in this 10 minutes you give to Krishna, that's all. So 1 round, why not? The mind will say, why not? Like that 1 round, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, gradually. And then you tell, oh, by the way, you have to, give up, it's better if you stop eating meat. Like that, you gradually introduce one by one. This is how you are tricking the mind when the new bhakta is coming to the temple. The same thing we are doing actually. So you break it into smaller tasks and you keep tricking the mind. But you don't have to trick the mind for the rest of your life. 2-3 weeks you do that, then the mind will automatically, pick it up and start doing it. Okay, so there's another powerful technique which I wanted to speak. It is called as visualization. See, whatever you want to achieve or whatever you want to do, you visualize yourself doing it successfully. And you break it into smaller tasks and visualize yourself doing all those things successfully. So I'll give you one very motivational example about someone who achieved some even impossible things. There is this person called Milton Erickson. Okay, you can Google search later. He actually developed an attack of polio in his younger days. He was a 17-year-old boy, he developed polio and he got paralyzed. And those days medical science was not so advanced, so the doctor said nothing can be done, or even if something can be done, it may take 20 years. He was practically bedridden, he could not move his hands, legs, nothing. So the doctor said nothing can be done. So then he thought, okay, anyway there is nothing else to do, I have nothing else to lose. Then he started visualizing. He saw his small sister running around playing here and there. And then he was thinking, oh, if only I could also play around like that, it would be so nice. Then he was visualizing that, I'm gradually my muscles and my nerves, everything is recovering. And gradually I will be able to move they will help me in moving my hands successfully and moving my legs successfully. And one day I will also be able to run around like how my sister is running around. So he visualized that all his muscles and nerves, everything would get healed nicely, and then he would be able to do those activities nicely. So this repeatedly because anyway he had nothing else to do. So he practiced it the whole day like this, and in 4 or 5 years he was able to walk again. This was a miracle actually. And then he realized that the mind is such a powerful thing. And he and his colleagues, they studied Bhagavad Gita, they understood more things, and then they felt, we should help people with all this. So just by visualizing in his mind, of course he was walking with a walking stick, it was not proper, but still, instead of being completely paralyzed, at least this much he was able to do. So like that, you visualize that, yes, okay, for doing this Bhakti Shastri, okay, every day I'm going to memorize these shlokas nicely. Then you visualize yourself that, yes, I am memorizing the shlokas with full focus, without getting distracted in the presence or in the association of devotees. I am doing all the questions in the question bank nicely. You keep doing it every day and then you keep telling your mind, yes, I am progressing and I'll continue to do like this for the next 3-4 months. All the questions in the question bank, all the shlokas, and then you visualize yourself successfully, sitting in the exam and remembering everything, writing nicely, all those. Actually, we already do these things. This is nothing new. See, when you are preparing for a class, you are already doing all these things. Like, okay, I will speak in this particular sequence, and then I will give these analogies, and then everybody will get convinced. So, or let's say when a lawyer, he's practicing, he's going to fight an important case the next day in court, he will visualize that, okay, I will give these and these arguments, and then the judge is getting convinced, and then the opposite party is also getting convinced, and then yes, I'm winning the case. Even the surgeon, when he's doing surgery, he will visualize that, yes, I will use all these instruments, I'm successfully going to cut the whatever part of the patient, I'm going to do all these things. So everybody does this, but the only thing is they don't do it consciously, they just do it subconsciously. Now if you consciously practice this, anything, like even in sadhana, okay, 2-3 months down the line you want to become a better sadhaka, let's say. So better sadhaka means what? Okay, maybe waking up early in the morning, maybe doing more attentive japa, reading more. So you visualize whatever you want. Okay, you visualize yourself doing proper japa, waking up early in the morning, doing this shastric reading every day, or whatever you want. Like maybe 10 years down the line you want to maybe settle down in Mayapur or Vrindavana and do some full-time seva, or maybe 20 years later. You visualize that. So it depends on what your goals are in devotional service or in anything for that matter. So as you visualize that, the mind and intelligence, they will start cooperating accordingly, and accordingly from nowhere, you will get the right kind of association, you will get the right kind of resources and the right kind of help for doing whatever you want to do. Then surprisingly you will think, oh, I wanted to do this particular thing, and then this devotee came and gave me a fantastic book which is now helping me in what I wanted to do. So then suddenly we see that from nowhere, help is manifesting, and suddenly things are working out. Oh, we see, oh, Krishna's arrangement. So Krishna makes arrangement based on what we visualize. Now this even Bhagavad Gita talks about it. So this law of transmigration is actually based on this. So whatever state you remember at the time of death, you become that. It is the same thing. You are visualizing that. So in the next birth, you actually become that. And Prabhupada gives this analogy of caterpillar and butterfly. So a caterpillar is visualizing that it is going to become a butterfly by developing all those wings, and one day it will start flying like that. The caterpillar is visualizing. One fine day it becomes a butterfly. So Prabhupada says, similarly, you visualize, you focus on, meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. Next birth, you will get a form similar to the Lord. Same thing, actually. It is this visualization is what Krishna is. And Krishna says, by constantly remembering me, you will come to me. Undoubtedly, Krishna tells this to Arjuna. Again, it is the same thing. Constantly remembering Krishna means constantly visualizing that we will be with Krishna. That is what it is. So then you will be with Krishna in the next birth. So it's the same thing. And once, in fact, somebody was when Prabhupada was in the initial days, he was struggling in the US. Then somebody was asking him, how are you going to? You are having such big plans. How are you going to succeed? You are struggling with the basic things. He is struggling to pay rent for that small room in New York. Then how is he going to achieve those big things? Then Prabhupada says, we already have temples all over, and they are already filled with devotees. Only time is separating us from them. So Prabhupada is already visualizing that, okay, we'll have temples all over the world and they will be filled with devotees. He was already visualizing that even when he had that small room in New York, where he was struggling to pay the monthly rent. So same thing. So this visualization can help us to do very powerful things. Of course, our goal is to serve Krishna. So there also you can think, okay, how am I going to serve Krishna? You visualize that. And we say manasik seva, that also Krishna accepts. So in one sense, the real seva, any seva starts at the manasik level. You are visualizing and planning, how am I going to do this? So the seva has already started, actually. And then later on it will manifest physically. Then all the circumstances will suddenly become favorable. And then you think, oh, Krishna has shown me the mercy, Krishna has fulfilled. So Krishna has fulfilled based on our visualization. Okay, so now, okay, before this, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't get your point.
About visualization.
That Krishna gets satisfied through a visualization.
Oh, okay. Krishna will satisfy our desires. I mean, whatever we want, sanction whatever we want based on what we visualize. Like, okay, if I want to do something, let us say I want to complete this Bhakti Shastri successfully. So Krishna, you are visualizing that you want to do this, that you are doing this Bhakti Shastri successfully. Like every day you are studying regularly, you are discussing with the devotees, you are memorizing the shloka successfully. So then Krishna will accordingly make arrangements. That okay, he will give you the association of some good devotee who can guide you nicely. Suddenly you will get some very good guidance from somewhere. Or you will get some good association, or you will get some favorable atmosphere. Maybe you will suddenly get some better accommodation where there is no noise and you can focus. Sometimes in accommodation also it can be challenging. Some construction work is going on, a lot of noise. It is difficult to focus. So when you have peaceful room, then it is easy to, as somebody was saying earlier, the atmosphere matters a lot. So suddenly you may get some better accommodation where things are more peaceful and you can focus more on study. So from nowhere, some circumstances will start manifesting which will help you in your studies, and you're thinking, oh, Krishna is so merciful. Now, because of our sincerity, because you are visualizing that yes, I want to do this Bhakti Shastri successfully, with determination, Krishna is making that arrangement. So in Bhagavad Gita it says there are three doers of action. One is our soul, we desire, and then the Paramatma sanctions, and then the material nature executes. So then the Paramatma sees, oh, this person sincerely wants to do this. So suddenly the Paramatma will make arrangements so that you get a favorable atmosphere, favorable environment in the room, plus some association of a good devotee who is encouraging you and who is guiding you also with some difficult shlokas or maybe some difficult questions and answers. So like that from nowhere, all these favorable things will start manifesting if we do the visualization nicely. Yes. So yeah, anybody wants to share or say, I mean, if you want to share something or ask something. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to share something. So I attended class from you, the Vrindavana too. So at that time you also gave the instructions on this determination. And I remember my CC exams were about to come, and I studied in half of the syllabus, and half of the time I was like visualizing that I'll clear the exam, I'll clear the exam. Prabhuji, it was very intense situation. I really visualized with complete focus and determination, but I wasn't able to clear that exam. It was my one favorite.
No, the thing is, this okay, good question. See, now, okay, if visualization, then now the next question we'll ask is that, okay, that means I want something, will I get whatever I want, if just by visualization? See, this visualization, actually, it is a specific skill, where you have to, now let's say you are half prepared, and that means, and you don't have sufficient confidence, and then you are getting desperate, and then you, okay, let me try this visualization, okay, visualize. Now, what will happen is, the mind, it will see, now the Krishna, he will see deep down what is in your subconscious mind. So, externally, you are mechanically practicing this visualization desperately, but deep down you are thinking, I have not studied properly, so I really have doubts whether this will work. Then it will not work.
So I have to completely, solely visualize, like I will anyway clear the exam.
But you have to, but visualization also means that you have to put the effort. So, I mean, visualization, not only visualization of the result, visualization of what chapters, what subjects you are going to study, that is also there in the part of the visualization.
Integrally visualize.
Yeah. It has to be, there are two types of visualization. One is visualizing the end result, the other is visualizing the process. So both have to go hand in hand, and you have to completely, visualizing the success means you are completely thinking only of that. You are not thinking that I don't know if this will work, so anyway let me try this visualization, because anyway I have not studied properly, so let me try this visualization, by chance it may work. So now that means that deep down in your subconscious mind, you have already made up your mind that you have not studied properly and you are anyway not going to pass. Now with this kind of mindset, even that visualization is not going to happen properly. Even that visualization, it's a mixed visualization. You are visualizing some success, and deep down you are thinking that probably this technique will not work because I have not studied properly. It will not work. You completely meditate on what you want to do and what you are planning to do, all the steps. Like it's the same thing, if let's say you want to go back to God and you are visualizing about Krishna, but deep down you are thinking, yeah, I am trying this, but will it really work? So then it will not happen.
So we have to visualize plus do our efforts.
Visualize plus, and the doing our effort is also part of the visualization. You have to visualize that you are doing all the efforts successfully.
So only visualize, or in real I have to do?
Both. You have to do both. And you have to not just do, you also have to visualize that you are doing it successfully. Then you will be able to do it nicely also. See, okay, visualizing and doing, it is not two separate things. See, you have to do, because if you don't do anything and if you just visualize and everything will start manifesting, then it is like we have become like Krishna. I mean, we are God. If it's Krishna, I mean, he just visualizes and things will happen. So, we have to put the effort, but you have to also visualize the effort also. There are two types of visualizations. One is visualizing the end result. The other thing is visualizing the effort. If you visualize the effort, then the effort becomes easier. Now, okay, effort means like, okay, the next 1 month you have to sit and solve this entire question bank. Say that is the effort. Now, if you visualize that you are putting that effort successfully, every day I am doing 3 questions per day, and then at the end of the month, I have successfully completed the question bank. You visualize that, then every day, your everyday effort becomes easier. It becomes easier for the mind to get determined to focus on the question bank without getting distracted. Yes, Mataji, you wanted to ask.
So don't you think so that we will start living in the future and in imaginary world all the time? Oh, I'm doing this, I'm here, I wear this, I do that. Don't you think so that by practicing it, we will start living in future?
Okay. Now I was talking about being the present. Now you're saying that if you visualize, you're getting into future. No, visualization means, Mataji, okay. No, visualization means that whatever you want to accomplish in the future, you are already experiencing it in the present. So visualization doesn't, okay. Now let's say 4 months later you want to complete your Bhakti Shastri. So you are not visualizing that, I would have successfully completed my Bhakti Shastri, I have got my certificate, I have got whatever I wanted. Now when you are visualizing it, you are actually visualizing as though it is already happening. Like yes, you are visualizing that yes, I am getting my Bhakti Shastri certificate. I am successfully completing all my exams. I mean, I've got good marks in all the exams, and then yes, I'm getting the certificate. So the visualization means that you are experiencing it in the present. The mind cannot differentiate between the past and present. You tell the mind that it is happening now, you will feel as though it is already happening. And this is the end result visualization, and the process visualization is that yes, every day I'm completing all these shlokas successfully. So that also you are visualizing. So when you are visualizing, it is not that I am going to do that Bhakti Shastri, so I am going to complete it 4 months later. No, that is not visualization. I am completing Bhakti Shastri. You are actually telling your mind that it is the present.
Yeah, I'm asking that question exactly. That when I'm thinking that I had completed my Bhakti Shastri, now I'm preaching, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But in real life, when I open my eyes, I'm here. I didn't even completed a single shloka. So it's like it's an imaginary world for me, and I start living in that because I will always meditate on these things, and when in real life it will not happen, it will hurt me.
So this is why we say you have to have a combination of end result visualization and process visualization. You have to have a combination of both. So now when you are visualizing only the end result, that okay, I have got my certificate, I am giving class, I know I am preaching everywhere, that is you are visualizing the end result. But you also have to visualize the process, that every day I am going to study these many shlokas, everything. Now this end result visualization that we are talking about, that is actually determination in the mode of ignorance. So that is visualizing only the end result without visualizing the process. See, now text number 35 in chapter 18, it says that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation and illusion, such determination is in mode of ignorance. So when we think that one fine day I will have my Bhakti Shastri certificate, I will be preaching, I will be doing this, and then you are thinking, dreaming, and you don't do any studies at all. Then every day goes like this. Then suddenly the exam has come close by. Then suddenly you get into fear. Oh, very few days left for the exam. I have not studied anything. Then then it becomes fearfulness. Then lamentation. Oh, I wasted so many days. So this is visualization. This is determination in mode of ignorance. But determination in mode of goodness is that you are controlling the mind through the practice of yoga. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. So now in determination in mode of goodness, what you will do is that okay, you will visualize this, no doubt. But you will also visualize that, okay, I have to complete Bhakti Shastri in 4 months, means first I have to finish Isopanishad exam. Okay, Isopanishad, 80 questions in the question bank, I have 3 weeks to do. So per week I will finish 30 questions. So you will be visualizing that also. Okay, this week I am finishing 30 questions successfully. And within that also, 30 divided by 7 days in a week, that is 4 questions per day. So you are visualizing that I will do 4 questions per day successfully. Then at what time? Okay, evening 6 o'clock for question bank, 4 questions per day. So that also, are you going to do in association with someone, or you are going to do it alone with the book? That also you are visualizing, that you are sitting in the room peacefully, focusing on the question bank and focusing on the book. You are having the book, you are having the question bank, you are answering the questions one by one. That also we are visualizing. So you are visualizing all the detailed steps. Now this is complete visualization in mode of goodness. So visualization of the process, that is, this is the process, and the visualization of the end result. End result is to motivate you, but you have to break it into smaller steps and visualize the process also. So there is process visualization and end result visualization. Both have to go hand in hand. If it is only end result visualization, then that means we are not practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga at all. We are not there in the present. As you rightly said, we are in the future. We have gone somewhere. And we are not going to do what we are supposed to do, and we will be dreaming, and one fine day the exam will come and we will be fearful. So that is, this is exactly determination in mode of ignorance. But determination is in mode of goodness is that with determination that is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice. That is, here we talked about Nishkam Karma Yoga, practicing Nishkam Karma Yoga, which thus controls the activities of the mind, life and senses, is determination in mode of goodness. This is there in 18.33 shloka translation. This is there. Is it clear, Mataji? Yeah, yes. A very good question. Yes, Prabhu.
My question is that you told here that but deep down we visualize. Actually, that reciprocates through Krishna or maybe through environment. So, but my question is, like, if we are visualizing something, we are visualizing something that we need to achieve that, and we are doing our efforts. But deep down, what about attachment towards our thoughts deep down, which we are thinking? The Krishna will accept that, and he fulfills that desire, which is deep down inside of us.
Attachment, as in, can you give some example? Like attachment, is it related to this desire or is it something else?
Yes, mostly is material desires.
Material desire. Yeah, so then Krishna will fulfill both. I mean, you want to do a particular seva and you are visualizing that, and parallelly you have some deep down, you have some attachments. So both will manifest.
So what about the thing regarding to consciousness, to Krishna consciousness? But Krishna fulfills our deep down desire. But no doubt we are entangled in so much activities. So how to reciprocate that?
Oh, okay. What you're saying is that, okay, we are visualizing something, but we are entangled in so many activities that will also manifest what to do. So then you have to visualize that whatever you want to get, you visualize more and more of that, and you also visualize that gradually all your other attachments are coming down, and your other activities are, whatever. Maybe you have to do some other activities which you don't want to do. So there also, okay, Krishna will make some arrangement that those activities will somehow happen. I mean, you don't have to waste your time in those things. So that also you have to visualize that, okay, these things, all these attachments will, are going away, and then you are getting closer and closer to your goal of what you actually want to do. So you can include that also as part of your. So you think in present tense that yes, now you take some steps to reduce your attachment, and focus on what you want to do, and then you tell yourself that yes, and now I am progressing towards being detached from these things and being attached to what I want to do. You give your mind a progressive task that yes, I am progressing towards this, and that progress will give you so much of enthusiasm that you will forget about these attachments. Even if the attachment is too strong, then you can visualize that those attachments are reducing. But if you are sufficiently able to visualize on what you want to do, that itself, and if you are able to generate enough dopamine with that itself, based on all these techniques, then those attachments will automatically start reducing, and they will automatically disappear. You won't even realize where those attachments went away. And that is what Bhakti Yoga is all about. We are not artificially trying to give up our attachments. We are focusing so much on the process of Krishna consciousness that we automatically forget about those attachments. And this is also again visualizing. So more you are visualizing about what you want to do, you gradually start forgetting about all those distractions, also those unwanted distractions.
The whole process requires a lot of goodness, it seems.
Yes, of course.
And so really, actually, because the world is so much complicated, so many issues keep on coming. So will we be able to do this for every activity that we do? Because I feel really it will be very difficult to visualize for every activity, or do we need to do it for some particular activity?
Yeah, you don't have to do it for every activity. You don't have to do it for every activity. And that is the good question, good news. And this is a very relevant question. We want to do so many things in life, so I have to sit and visualize everything. That is also, so you prioritize. Like now, Prabhu was asking something similar, like now I have these attachments also, now what to do about that? Now one technique is that, okay, you sit and visualize that your attachments are coming down, that is one way. Then you go on visualizing about everything, it becomes too much. So you just visualize on the devotional process, and then the attachments go away automatically. So you have so many things to do in life, you prioritize that, okay, what is the most important? You visualize that first. I mean, you focus on the things that are higher priority, and then the things that are lower priority will somehow fall in place.
Just one thing, like I had one student recently, like so he was like one of the toppers only. He topped this year or last year also. So what happened actually, he used to follow this thing. So anything you ask him, he is having algorithm for that. It's just like machine only. Like I thought like बहुत fastly बोलेगा वो खटाखट ये मतलब ये जो डोपामाइन आप बता रहे हैं ना, वो वहीं से मैंने उससे पहली बार सुना. So he's like I felt he was one kind of machine, although he was scoring very good marks. So that's why I thought should we do it in all our activity or should we like prioritize it? So
Prioritize. You don't have to do everything like that. Some things anyway the mind is already trained to do. It will automatically.
Like cycling, if I'm doing, if I start thinking so much about how I'm like then it will become very much complicated, right?
Like cycling.
अगर cycling में कर रहा हूँ जैसे, then if I start thinking now I'm paddling and all, so it will be confusing for me. Like
No. You see, visualization is required when you are trying out something new. Let's say cycling you are doing every day, but first few times when you are doing, you have to visualize that, oh, now I put the pedal, now I will put the brake, I will balance properly. So first few days it is required. Once it becomes a practice, your mind will automatically do. Even similarly, even for the lawyer or for the surgeon, I was telling example, a surgeon is performing complicated surgery. If he is doing it for the first time in his life, he will sit and do the visualization. He'll do it automatically. He won't know that it is called visualization. We all do it actually already. So he will visualize. So few times like that he will do. Then after for 20 years, if he has been doing the same surgery, then he doesn't have to visualize. Now automatically the hands will go and pick up the scalpel, cut everything. He will do everything. He may be thinking something else. I have to admit my daughter to school, and his hand will be doing the surgery automatically. It will happen because now he's already practiced. He has already done the visualization. So automatically the hands will do everything correctly, even though his mind may be thinking something else. So the subconscious mind will automatically do everything. So it's not that every time he does surgery, he has to sit and visualize. Then it will be too much. So once something becomes a habit, you don't have to visualize anymore. It will the mind will make you do it, even if you don't want to do it. The problem is we have done too much of visualization for sense gratification already, for so many words. So that is why the mind is automatically going in that direction. Okay, yeah, anything else? So Mataji, that yours was a very good question actually. Was it clear?
Yeah, it is. No, actually it was one of my last papers, so yes, yes.
Yeah. See, visualization is not a substitute for preparation. In fact, in visualization you have to prepare. Preparation is part of the visualization actually. It's the other way around. So visualization strengthens your determination. It is, you see, even that Milton Erickson, he visualized, but he was also putting the effort. He was trying to lift his hand. Every day he will do an exercise, try, but for so many, but first 2-3 years he was not able to do. Ultimately, 4th year, 5th year, the hand started lifting little by little, like that. So he was putting the effort also. That also he was visualizing. Yes, now I'm going to lift my hand, and yes, it is. I'm successfully lifting my hand. So like that, successfully moving my leg. So he was visualizing the process also, and he was putting the effort every day. Outwardly it was not visible because he will try to move, but it will not move. But he was putting that effort to try and lift his hand every day. So you visualize the end result, and you also visualize the process. And process is where you are putting the effort. So you visualize the effort also. Because if you are visualizing only the end result, then as Mataji said, it becomes like dreaming, like, oh, one fine day I would have done this, I would have done that. So that is determination in the moment. But if you are also visualizing the effort process. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, he is bringing Arjuna back, and Krishna has also helps Arjuna with visualization. He is showing him the Vishwarupa, where all the opposing warriors are getting into Krishna's mouth, and then in the wide open, the Lord is opening his mouth wide open, and all the Kaurava warriors are entering into it, and they are dying. So that is the end result. Krishna is showing this is it has already happened. So that way Krishna is helping Arjuna visualize the end result, and he is also getting him back to the present. Okay, now you fight. So he is telling you do your duty, but you are not entitled to the results. So now when you are not entitled to the results, now some people will misunderstand this, that you just don't bother about your result, you just keep doing something. Now then if Arjuna does that way, that okay, he is blindly shooting arrows, putting some effort, he is not worried about the result. Anyway, I am not attached to the result. Whether the enemy soldier is going to get killed or not, how does it matter? I'll just keep shooting arrows blindly. Or similarly here also, we just study something blindly, whether I'm going to memorize it or not, how will it matter? So that is not detachment. So when Krishna says you are not entitled to the result, what he actually means is that it is not that you should not bother about the result. You work sincerely for the result, but then you don't maintain attachment to the result. That is what it means. So Arjuna is fully focused on trying to win the war, just like Duryodhana. But the only difference is that Duryodhana is attached to the result. He desperately wants to win at any cost. But Arjuna, he is doing it because Krishna asked him to do as a duty, wholeheartedly. He is also trying to win. But even if he loses, he doesn't mind. Anyway, Arjuna was ready to go to the forest. Only Krishna only convinced him to actually fight. So that means he is anyway not attached to the result. Result is getting the kingdom after the war. He is anyway not interested. He wanted to go to the forest. So he is focused on the result, but he is not attached to the result. So Krishna is talking about giving up attachment to the result. It doesn't mean that you don't bother about the result at all. So then everything will become aimless. If we stop bothering about the result, then our study will become aimless. Then Arjuna's fighting will become aimless. So everything will become like complete chaos. So Krishna is helping Arjuna with the end result visualization as well as the process visualization. Okay, now if you are finding this, anyway, visualization was the last point I suggested. So all the other things like, okay, breaking a task into smaller tasks, focusing on progress rather than achieving something. When we say I want to achieve something, then it's like in one sense we are trying to become the controller. Yes, I want to do this. But, or rather, we think that, okay, I'll progress towards this. What can I do to improvise myself? Okay, I want to become like Haridas Thakur. No, that is also like, in one sense, it is like you are trying to become the controller. Okay, I will sit in a secluded place. I will avoid all distractions. I will do this. I will do that. So, in one sense, some element of Rajoguna will come into it. But rather we think that, okay, what steps, now if that is what we want to achieve, becoming like Haridas Thakur, today what step can I take to improve my chances of becoming like Haridas Thakur? So that is more sattvic, and that kind of determination is more lasting. Rather than forcibly trying to achieve something. Instead of saying that I want to achieve this, say that what can I do to progress towards this? Okay, the class is supposed to be till 9 or till 8:45. So, 1 hour. So yeah, 1 hour is done. I was thinking it is till 9. So sorry. That means whatever you do. No, that's it. I'm done actually. So yeah, 1 hour over. 1 hour is over. Okay, so yeah, please, anybody has any questions or you want to share something or ask something?
Is there any other shortcut than this?
No. You see, if you are finding visualization too overwhelming, you forget that, you focus on the other things. Visualization, I mentioned it more like a motivation thing, but if you are finding it so too much, then you leave it. Because that I gave this example of Milton Erickson, he achieved the impossible, like what people would consider as impossible. So, see, visualization you don't have to do for every small thing. You just pick up a few important things in life and focus just on that. Anyway, we are already doing it. It is just that we are not doing it in a conscious way. When you are learning how to ride a bike, that is what you are doing. And then automatically the mind starts doing it. So you focus on the other things like breaking a task into smaller tasks. You focus on progress rather than the result. And association, and you make it into a habit, like I was telling you, this shloka memorization. 3 weeks you practice. Two things, you give the mind as a choice to do sense gratification or to do shloka memorization. So 3 weeks you make it a habit that every day evening 6 o'clock I will do shloka memorization. So after that, when that time comes, that mind will automatically tell you, okay, let us go to the room, let us focus on this. Even if somebody is trying to distract you at that time, the mind will say, no, we'll come, I'll go to Govinda's later. First I do the shloka. So these things are easy to practice. So if you, I think the visualization is what is confusing and overwhelming everybody. So if that is the case, you leave it aside. I mean, you focus on other things are easy. Breaking a task into smaller tasks, then you make it into a habit. Do it in the association of devotees. So these things are very easy to practice. So you can just see. It's not that you have to. Now again, it's not that you have to take everything and dump it on the mind. Then the mind will think, okay, why did I even attend that class? See, now again you are making the same mistake. So now I have given 6 or 7 points, 1 point at a time. Just don't feed this whole thing to the mind. See, let us say now when we want to take prasadam, it is not that the whole bucket, I mean the whole plate will dump it inside. The body cannot take it. So what you will do, small pieces, small morsels you will feed it, and then you will chew it properly, and only then it will get digested, you will get energy. So same thing with the mind. Why the mind gets overwhelmed, by mind finds certain tasks difficult, is because we are dumping the whole task on the mind. 20 shlokas, the mind will run away. Or 16 rounds of attentive japa, mind will say no. So it is like trying to swallow the entire plate of prasadam at one shot. So that is what we are trying to do. We are torturing the mind by dumping the whole activity on the mind. So you break it into small bits and give the mind one small bit at a time. So the mind will happily, take it. So this is the mistake we have been making. Whenever we feel stressed with something, that means we are dumping a huge task on the mind which it is not able to handle. So you think, okay, I am getting stressed because of this. How can I break this into smaller pieces? Okay, so anything? So okay, hope you found it practical and useful. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Wanted to answer.